It has been forever since I put an original video up on this channel, but hey, hi, how are ya? Welcome back to Suitcase Princess. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, we're a family of 4 who loves to travel. I felt so compelled to come here and share a brand new original video with you because my husband and I recently took an adults-only trip out of Port Canaveral on MSC Seashore. And I did not know a lot about MSC before we took this trip, and I started doing research, so I just want to come here and share some things with you. Let's go. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me down in the comments and over on Instagram, but it will be easiest to find me over on my main channel where I am posting multiple times a week, making everyday magic. Okay, so let's get in and talk just a little bit about our cruising experience. We've cruised on Carnival, Disney, and Royal Caribbean cruise lines. This was our very first experience with MSC, and the entire reason they popped up on our radar is we are located in Houston, and very soon they're gonna start sailing out of, they're currently building their terminal in Galveston. MSC Cruise Line is privately owned. They are part of a major shipping conglomerate, and they have cruises all over the world, a lot of European cruises. They are incredibly inexpensive comparatively. And so for this trip, celebrating our 15th wedding anniversary, my husband and I knew that we wanted to do something just for a few days away, a few days alone. And this is what we finally settled on because of the cost. And the cost was incredibly low. I will put exactly what we spent right here on the screen, and that covered our 3-night cruise as well as the drink package. We didn't do any specialty dining other than gratuities. We didn't have any other onboard charges at all. We didn't do any spas. We didn't do any upgrades. We didn't do any of that. But it did include the drinks and the Wi-Fi. It was only 3 days. Like I said, we actually used Southwest points to fly to Orlando, and then we traveled from Orlando. We used a shuttle service, which I will be sure to include the link of everything down in the description box, and shuttled over to Port Canaveral, which is like 50 minutes away over on the coast, and then took the boat from there. And we sailed to the Bahamas, Nassau, the Bahamas, where we just did a little walking tour that we had found online. And then we went from there to Ocean Key, which is their private island reef conservation preserve, which was pretty cool. Okay, so that is the kind of like details of the cruise. Now let's talk about booking and embarkation. As far as booking goes, I did search the MSC site. They've, just like everybody else, they have sales all the time. And we did wind up going with booking through a travel agent from Vacations to Go because they could get us the best deal on the cruise that, again, included the drink package, which includes the Wi-Fi. So we did choose that. We don't normally do a drink package because normally we're traveling with kids, but being that we were going to be without them, we went ahead and did the drink package. Now, when we booked and we logged in to do our like arrival time, our embarkation time, it did give us a time of 3 p.m., but extensive research told me that you can go in anytime before that. And so we did. We actually took our first shuttle out from the Orlando area. The hotel that we had stayed at was very near the airport. And so we kind of shuttled over to the hotel and then shuttled back to the airport and took the transportation, the cruise shuttle service from the airport out to Port Canaveral. And we went straight in, and we'd already done all of our online checking and had our bags tagged and everything. The bag tags are about the same size as Royal Caribbean. So we have like a plastic sleeve that we could put them in. And then I took the bags and we went through, and boarding was so simple. You get in a line, they're getting everybody through. So simple, so fast, so easy to do. And we were on the boat by like 11:30. It was amazing. And so then we went and found, lunch and drinks and things like that. And so it was a really great embarkation process. So simple, so easy. Loved it. Would totally do it again. Of course, they have a separate area for their yacht club, which is like their, more experienced travelers and costs and things like that. So that our stateroom was a balcony room. Now the room was great. The size was great. It was really nice because again, we haven't traveled just the 2 of us in a long time. I liked the way that you come into the sitting area first and then the bed is near the balcony, which I thought was quite nice. The complaint that I had is that the bathrooms on a cruise ship are always small, but the shower was so incredibly small. Like you would bump the door and knock it open when you're showering. You had to turn off the water to soap your body. Like The shower was incredibly small. So that was an issue. We didn't have issues. We had plenty of plugs and USBs and all of that. That was wonderful. There was a mini bar in the room, which I think we opened it to look at it, but we never took anything in or out. There is of course, built-in hairdryer, but it's built into the desk drawer. It's already plugged in and everything. You just kind of pull it out to use it, which is pretty great. Nice storage things in the room. And it was good. Lots of safe and all of that. We had plenty of space, but again, it was just the two of us. And normally we do have more people. It was a connecting room, but I never heard anybody else. We took our white noise machine. It was great. So and it's nice having a balcony room, especially on Caribbean sailings. It's so pretty. It was very short and it was worth the upgrade for us. We could have traveled even less expensive than we did. Dining and drink package. So the dining on the MSC Seashore, the buffet dining is really odd. It is set up in kind of multiple pieces. It's really hard to understand the flow of it. Hand wash stations everywhere, which I did love. But I really felt like this segmented buffet made it really hard to understand what was happening where, and the hand washes were not there at the entrance of the buffet. So if you'd sat down, you had to go find another hand wash before you could eat. It was hard. That was really hard. Not my favorite part. The main dining room, they cut off time, especially for breakfast. We got there 9:02 and they were like, no, you have to go somewhere else. So that was a little rough several times. And they had booked us with sitting with other people, which I didn't love, but every night wasn't an issue. We were able to wait and get a private table. I ordered a drink at least once in the main dining room that just never showed up. The food was amazing in the main dining room. I quite enjoyed it. It could be a little hotter, but I always feel that way with mass-produced food. But the portion sizes I thought were so incredibly reasonable. Not once on this entire cruise did I feel like I had just eaten too much or anything like that. It was very good. They do have two kinds of pizza. We found the wrong kind the first time. I would say the pizza is really amazing when you find the right kind, which is traditional thinner crust style pizza. Very good. I did go and I saw there was an area, and it's just where we were on this other part of the buffet. There were chicken tenders and things that I wanted to try in the kids area. And the woman behind the counter actually was like, this is for kids. And I was like, okay, great. I don't care. So that was a little odd. Just a little odd, but it was one of those things where I was like, whatever, I'm going to do it anyway. So it was also hard because you had to wait through one side of the buffet had sausage in the morning and one side had bacon. So you kind of had to wait. It was just kind of hard, to be 100% honest with you. The whole buffet situation was just kind of hard. It was great as far as the drink package. We could get drinks everywhere. There were lines some places wouldn't have what you wanted. The espresso martinis are fantastic. But I will tell you, the drink package has a 15 alcoholic drink limit a day. I think we knocked on it a couple times, but I don't think we ever hit it. But that doesn't include your waters and sodas and everything else that you could want. However, I drank a lot all day, pretty much every day. And not once did I feel drunk. So just keep that in mind. Definitely. And the drinks, it covers the bulk of the packages and things like that. But just so you know, it was nice to have drinks and move about, but nothing was ever very strong, or did I feel like really impaired my abilities in any respect. So that we didn't try any of the specialty dinings. We did walk all around the ship, and we didn't partake of the chocolate place, which is maybe my only regret. I wish we maybe had done some gelato or a really fancy specialty coffee or something like that, but we did not do that. So yeah. It's really easy to use. We took our cruise lanyards that have a thing. It was really easy. It really was. But yeah, you're not getting drunk, if that makes, unless you're just a really lightweight. Maybe you're really lightweight. You're not getting drunk. But for the purpose of this cruise, few nights, us alone, having a few drinks, it was great. It was perfect. Genuinely, it was perfect. Our onboard experience. So the decor of the ship is very gaudy, for lack of a better term. The Swarovski crystal stairs, super cool, really cool. The ship that we were on is a little bit smaller class, so there was never like, there's not like a whole deck that just kind of connects the whole thing, which is a little weird. It's very segmented, kind of like the buffet. We found a few places that we liked. There's these great whirlpools on either side of the boat near the Brooklyn Cafe and like the sports bar that just, it's just bubbles, but it's like built-in chairs and you can just look out on the side. It's fantastic. That was like one of our favorite places to go. They have tons of activities on board. We didn't do a lot of them. It was a very short cruise. We did do one of their shows one evening. They're not known for their shows at sea. Okay, let me just say that. They are not known for that. Okay. So that I think is an important thing. The vibe as a whole, it's pretty fun. The casino is huge. Again, we tend to do things more family friendly so that there's live music all the places and bars everywhere and things like, it's just, you know, it's a idealized vibe of cruising, for lack of a better term. The ports that we went to, Nassau, like I said, we did a walkabout, just downloaded our own app and walked off the ship. Super great, super easy. And then the Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve was pretty great because they're kind of rebuilding this whole island. We did snorkeling, which was, I wanted to do. We took our own snorkel gear. So we didn't pay for like any excursion-y things. And we snorkeled and I saw a stingray and fish and it was really great. It was really, really great. We had a wonderful time. I will say the food on the island, the line was pretty long for lunch. And then you couldn't get, like the burger was like pre-built. So you couldn't get like the burger pieces to like build your own burger. So that was a little off-putting. And the seagulls are like ravenous. So don't leave your food behind, but plenty of anything you could want. We could use our drink package online on the island. They had shuttles to take you all around because it is quite large. And then they had lifeguards patrolling. It was pretty cool. It was fun. We didn't do any of like the parties or the white nights, or we didn't do any of that because we were old and we just wanted to hang out, quiet, peace and quits. The whole point is not dealing with other people. And it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It suited exactly what we wanted. So MSC, for value, I would say they are amazing. For certain aspects of the food, I think they were amazing. They do excel in that kind of like pizza and coffee kind of respect because there's the, real, Starbucks would be jealous of the espresso machines located all over the boat. It was good. I did love, so we did do things that would be more geared to our kids because we research purposes, especially if they're going to be sailing at Galveston, it'll be so easy to pop on a boat. They have multiple water slides on the boat. So one of them is like a raft slide. You have to sign a waiver and get a wristband. There's an open body slide and closed body slides. And like a little ropes course with a separate splash pad for the kids. There's a jungle area, like kind of like an indoor pool. And then outdoor pools, an adult only pool. And then they partner with Lego, right? So we got like a special MSC Lego build for the kids. That was the souvenir we brought home. I do think for the value and for what it is, absolutely do it. I mean, you almost cannot do it cheaper. So if you have an option to try it and you're on the fence, try it. Awesome. Super awesome. As far as value goes, a lot of the food was done well. The macaroni, I don't think my kids would have liked it, but they would have found enough things to eat that I think they would have been okay. And then, yeah, there was a lot of unique things on this boat that we hadn't experienced before, but we've only ever sailed relatively small boats. So that could be it. These are just a newer class of boats than we're used to sailing. And I would totally take the kids, especially if the price is right and the timing is right. Heck yes. And I might even consider doing the drink package again, just because I know I'm not going to get drunk and it was so inexpensive and included Wi-Fi, which was a really big deal. But just like everything else, everybody's trying to upsell you. There's always the jewelry stores and the art stores and the spa things and like all of that. So, I mean, just like every other cruise in that respect, but we had a great time. I would totally do it again. And I think the value is there. So for what we spent, totally worth it. Guys, I hope that you appreciated this review of our MSC Seashore little adults only getaway 3-nighter out of Port Canaveral. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. Maybe there's something I didn't cover that you would like a little more information on. I'm not doing ship tour and all that stuff because that information is available here. You don't need to hear that from me. So I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me down in the comments or hit me up over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. This has been Shauna for Suitcase Princess for the first time in a long time. Bye, guys.